Hello and welcome to the Spec-TRACER tutorial. In this video I'm going to show you how you can build traceability between FPGA requirements and the HDL design using the GUI of Active-HDL. There are many ways to build traceability in Spec-TRACER, and what I'm going to show you here is only one of the many ways. So to start, let's go to Spec-TRACER client. I have here the list of FPGA requirements, including the code, the requirements name, and the requirements description here at the bottom. So what I need to do is build the traceability between these FPGA requirements and my HDL design. So let's go to Active-HDL to do this. So I have in my Active-HDL GUI, you can see that I have a active project open here. First thing we need to do is make sure that we connect to the Spec-TRACER database. To do this, you need to go to Design menu, click on Settings, and under Spec-TRACER category here, make sure that we enable Spec-TRACER and that we connect to the correct Spec-TRACER database with the specific username and password that we have, and make sure that you connect to the specific project in that database. Okay, so simply click Connect and Apply. And there's other settings here. To simplify this video, I'm not going to spend time talking about these settings here, so just please go to our help menu so that you can learn about these other settings. So let's just click OK here. Now let's enable Spec-TRACER. So now I have the Spec-TRACER browser here on the right hand side. Also I have visibility to the list of the FPGA requirements here. This is good so that when you're just creating the source code, you have access to these FPGA requirements. So if your project manager assigned a subset of FPGA requirements, that's what you will have access to in this FPGA project that you have in Active-HDL. Okay, so now in this video, what I'm going to show you is I have already completed my corresponding HDL source code to implement some of these requirements. So now the next step is to build the traceability. Okay, what we need to do now is insert requirements tags, okay, to the source code. So for example, this chip enable, I'm going to drag and drop this chip enable to this specific line of my HDL design. This is the chip enable part of my HDL design. So what that does is connect the FPGA requirements to this HDL source code here by inserting a comment. This HDL prefix is user defined, and this numbering here is also user defined. Okay, so now also, as you can see, status here, now that's checked, so that means it's already been established. The traceability has already been established between FPGA requirement and the HDL design. Okay, so now let's do the let's build the traceability between this process, this asynchronous reset process. Okay, where's the requirement? This FPGA 004. So that's the requirement tag for that. Okay, so now that's built. Now the status is already checked as well. And let's see about this interrupt address. There's a requirement for that. Let's also put that here. Okay, so you can also have two tags for the same requirement. For example, this process and this and another process is to implement a single requirement. For example, this this interrupt units here, this block of code, is also for this interrupt address. So let's also use that. Okay, so now I have two tags for this requirement. So now if I double click on this, okay, it would show me that there's a couple of requirements tags that's connected to that requirement. If I click on this one here, then it's gonna highlight that specific line of code. Okay, so that's also how you traverse between FPGA requirements and the HDL source code. Okay, so that's one way to build the traceability for HDL design that do not have any existing code. So what about existing design that you want to reuse and those designs already have tags? Okay, so in my example, I have one of these files here that I'm reusing from previous projects, and there's already existing tags embedded in the code. So simply what I'm going to do is just simply highlight this tag here and connect them to the appropriate requirement. So for example, this one here is the default priority from address. Let's link this tag here. So now that's linked. Also for this one, let's link that here. Okay. Okay, so there you go. So now what I did is simply reuse these